The world's eyes are on Rio de Janeiro this month as athletes from 206 countries are set to compete in the Summer Olympics. Anoka County athletes are no stranger to the games, and we tracked down two who took home medals and another on her way to represent Team USA.
When I was 12 years old, I was in my class and a bunch of flyers came out by the teacher, and one of them was soccer. I brought it home to my mom and dad and said, "Can I do this?" And they always said yes.
When I was 4, my parents thought they were signing me up for normal, artistic gymnastics, but it turned out to be rhythmic, with ribbons and balls and stuff, and I ended up really liking it, so I stayed.
I actually played hockey when I was 5, but I didn't like the cold weather, so got me into wrestling when I was 6, and kind of went off from there.
Growing up in Anoka County, Brandon Paulson, Brianna Scurry, and Kiana Ide started as little athletes with big dreams.
By the time I was 16, I think it was pretty clear that I was probably going to play higher level. We just didn't know how high at the time.
In 9th grade, I figured out that I had some national level skill. I went to a couple national tournaments and won the cadet and junior nationals.
And Kiana had to leave her mom and sister in St. Francis to move to a Chicago suburb to train and pursue her passion in rhythmic gymnastics.
My dad moved with me, and I had to switch schools and everything.
After joining Team USA as its youngest member, she took the next step to her dreams becoming reality last fall in Germany at the Olympic qualifying tournament.
Right afterwards, we start crying because we were just so happy with our performance. We were just really proud of ourselves. And so we went back to the hotel, and we started getting ready for dinner we were going to have. And my roommate, Natalie, she got a text from her dad saying, "Did you guys know that you qualified straight to Rio?" We're like, "No, that's not Rio, no." And then our teammates in the other room, they saw on Facebook a post that said the official teams that qualify straight to Rio, and USA was the last on that list. And we all at the same time ran to the same room and just started crying and screaming, tears of complete happiness. It probably won't sink in until the flight there, or when we're probably gonna walk out to the Olympics.
Brianna Scurry from Dayton took a different path, showing promise as the goalkeeper for the University of Massachusetts in the mid-1990s.
My coach, Jim, said that I had the talent to play on the national team, and I said, this was my sophomore year, and I said I didn't even know there was one. So if that tells you anything with what I knew about how good I was or about soccer at the time. During this entire time when I was in college and trying to do my thing on the national team in the beginning, women's soccer actually wasn't an Olympic sport at all. And I just got lucky in a sense, that I was there at the right place, right time, and was a starting keeper at the time, and was able to realize my dream that I had since I was 8, which was to be an Olympian.
And during the same time, Brandon Paulson was determined to go to the Atlanta Olympics, taking a year off from the University of Minnesota team to focus on his training for Greco-Roman wrestling.
I had to wrestle a guy that I'd never beaten before. He beat me 5 times, but really I was very confident that I was going to make the team. It was something I dreamed about. It's something that I visualized, and for it to happen, it's hard to explain that it's like you don't want to wake up from a dream. It's something that you worked so hard for, and to finally make it, it was amazing.
All of our training will hopefully be worth it. Our goal is just to do 2 clean routines just for ourselves. We're not trying to beat anyone, we're just trying to do it for ourselves.
Brianna and Brandon tell us representing the United States at the 1996 Summer Olympics was a feeling unlike any other.
If you can think of your most amazing moment you've had up until this time in your life and multiply it by 1,000, that's what it feels like. I had that dream in the back of my mind for 16 years, and so when I was 24 and found myself living my dream, it was a pretty amazing feeling. The opening ceremonies is the most amazing event you could possibly participate in.
In the opening ceremonies, we had to walk up this platform that's about 35 feet tall or 40 or 50, and you get to the top and there's the stadium, and there's 100,000 people waving their flags and chanting USA. And
we came around that corner into that stadium, if you recall how that ramp came around and the lights were on, and they were telling us, don't look at the cameras. But of course, everybody bum rushed the camera as soon as we came around that corner.
You got to walk around the track, and that whole, I get goosebumps as I talk about it. Just that whole walk around the track was just unbelievable.
Just complete elation. And then just the feeling of being Team USA. I mean, you are among the kings and queens of sport on the planet.
The games in Atlanta came with a deadly distraction. A pipe bomb was planted at Centennial Park on the Olympic grounds and exploded, killing 2 people.
It was intense, but we were actually nowhere near that Olympic Park bombing. But it was very scary. We were just hoping that people were okay, and we also were hoping that people that we knew, friends and family that may have been in Atlanta, weren't involved.
And I actually had walked right past where the bomb went off, probably 6 hours before. So it's a Centennial Olympic Village where that's where I kind of met my family and stuff, where they could go.
The man who put the bomb there, Eric Robert Rudolph, wasn't caught for 2 more years, but was sentenced to life in prison in 2005.
You have all these countries coming together in a peaceful nature. I mean, it's United States, Iran, Russia, North Korea, China, all these countries are competing, and as athletes, we're all together. It's not just a competition against them, but it's competing, goodwill competing. And for somebody to try to ruin the Olympics, and that's what a lot of people remember. It was more anger than anything.
This year, the Zika virus is a concern in Rio de Janeiro.
We know that USA Gymnastics has our best interest in mind about that. We know that they'll take care of us, do what's best for us, so we're not really focused on that right now.
But focused on competing, Brandon knew he had to win 3 matches to take home the gold medal and 4 for gold.
And I had a tough Bulgarian in the semis. And that was really the match for me. You win that match, you're a medalist in the Olympics. And he actually got a lead to start off, but then I got in a roll, and man, it was awesome. It's just something that you train your whole life for, and you sacrificed a lot, and you put your body and your mind through a lot to get to that point, and it's all worth it when you get there.
He fell short of the gold, but took home a silver along with memories to last a lifetime.
I wrestled fine. I gave it my all. I was confident going in, but it doesn't always happen right. Again, I won a medal in the Olympics, so I wasn't too upset.
After getting through the preliminary round with 2 wins and a draw, Brianna and Team USA beat Norway to get to the finals and China to win the first ever gold medal in women's soccer.
The first thing I remember thinking when they put that medal around my neck was like, ooh, it's heavy. And it's like a dream come true. Like I said, it's amazing to feel that. And you've usually at that point in time in your career have gotten several years of just sacrifice and training and time and so much focus and effort on one thing, and then you are victorious at the thing. And then to hear our national anthem, to watch them raise the USA flag in the middle of other flags, it's just truly something amazing. And I can't even say how grateful I am and glad, and how much gratitude I had that I was able to do that twice.
At the Sydney Games in 2000, Brianna lost her starting spot and watched every minute from the sidelines as her team earned the silver medal.
At the time, I was like, if I'd been playing, it would have been better. But, as you can see now, and I was very young then, and I'm older now, and I realize that that's actually was a ridiculous statement to make. And so it's not true at all.
She regained her role as starting goalkeeper 4 years later, and a heavy heart motivated her to win another heavy gold medal.
I wanted to prove myself again that I was worthy to be on the team, A. And B, unfortunately, my father had passed away 2 months before that games in 2004. And so I went into that Olympic Games with, 2 very diametrically opposed emotions, but as heightened as they could possibly be. Absolute elation that I was returning to the games again, the starting keeper, but also incredible sorrow and mourning for my father who passed away. But, my dad was an amazing part of my life, always had been, was one of the people who believed in me the most. And I wanted to play really, really hard and really well for him. And I did. It's the best soccer I've ever played in my life, that 2004 games.
They represented not just their home country, but also their hometowns.
You're like, I can't wait to get out on that mat and represent the U.S. and do the best I can for the United States and for Anoka and for Minnesota. It's just, it's not like being in the service, but it's really the way that I could serve the United States.
Being someone who's from a town like Dayton, Anoka area, is really a badge of courage for me. Had I lived many other places, I may not be talking to you right now. I don't know. I may not have been, able to play soccer and have all the opportunity that I actually was able to have because of where I lived. And that was a choice my parents made. And so I'm always very grateful to them for that. But, It's nice. It's nice because a lot of times people, wonder, well, how did you get here? And a lot of times people think it's this, that, and the other thing, and maybe they can't do it, too. But, being from a small town, I mean, if you can be a small town girl like me living in Dayton, Minnesota, and make it to the national team and the Olympic teams, then anybody can do just about anything they want.
An added bonus is a chance to watch other sports and meet other athletes at the top of their games.
Team USA, we cheer each other on. I mean, whether it's women's basketball, men's basketball, swimming, equestrian, volleyball, track, of course, and all the other sports.
I went to tennis almost every day and got to see some of the people that were some of my heroes.
Brianna has gone from the world's biggest stage to many smaller ones, speaking at colleges and businesses about the dangers of concussions, which ended her career in 2010, along with motivational speeches on how to overcome obstacles.
One of the things that I'm doing to try to achieve my lifetime goal, which is to be more impactful in my next 40 years than I was in my first 40. And that's a tall order, but I'm doing the best I can with it. I'm willing to go after it. We'll see how it goes.
Still only 17, Kiana has her own message to deliver.
One goal I want out of my whole career is just to spread the word, open the sport to America, because it's so not really known. Like, people know it a little bit, but like when they say, "Oh, what sport do you do?" I say, "I do rhythmic gymnastics." They're like, "Oh, you do gymnastics? Okay, so you do the beam and stuff." No, I don't do that. I do rhythmic gymnastics. That's with the ribbons, the balls, hoops, clubs. It's such a beautiful sport, and I don't really feel like people know how hard we work.
As a wrestling coach with his own gym in Shoreview, Brandon has helped a new generation reach for their own Olympic goals.
I get to train them as well, and guys that are really coming up on that Olympic dream. So I love what I do.
And every 4 years, these Olympians have a chance to relive their days representing the United States.
I can't wait to watch the wrestlers.
It's a pretty special time every 4 years, so I hope everybody absorbs, and however they have to, as much Olympic coverage as they can.
The whole Olympic experience is like being able to say, I went to the Olympics, I am an Olympian. Just everything about it is just the dream, and it's crazy to think about, but it's really happening.
Kiana is set to compete with Team USA in rhythmic gymnastics starting August 19th.